Today on Voiding Warranties, I'm going to show you how to make the best cup of coffee you've ever had. This stuff is so good, it's nuclear grade.
Voiding warranties cannot be held responsible for the misuse or mishandling of coffee. You have been warned.
Now I know what you guys are thinking. Harlan, how can you make a cup of coffee better? You know, you put the coffee in the percolator or the Keurig or whatever the case may be, and then, you know, out pops this wonderful liquid made of magic beans that gives you energy and makes you happy throughout the day. Please don't hate me. We're going to do a cold brew. Know what you're thinking. Cold brew is something that all those hip kids, or maybe they're hipsters, I really can't tell the difference these days, how they have their coffee. And you're right, but for some good reasons. Cold brew coffee is a lot less bitter, has a lot more flavor, and it's all the wonderful things you expect from coffee. And the best part about cold brew is you can have it any way you want it after it's brewed. You can heat it up, have a hot cup of coffee. You can toss some ice in, some cream, some sugar, have a cold cup of coffee. You can let it sit out for a couple hours, have a lukewarm cup of coffee if you want. I don't know why anyone would ever want a lukewarm cup of coffee, but I'm not one to judge. Now this is where the magic happens. You take a 1,000 milliliter beaker, clean beaker, you fill it with water, and then you put it on your stirring plate. Now I know what you're thinking. You don't have one of these at the house, and why would you ever need one of these for something as simple as coffee? Well, this is what makes the magic. You see, if you do regular cold brew and you don't stir it, what you end up with is a whole bunch of coffee grounds on the bottom and some weak coffee. I don't like weak coffee. But if you stir it every few hours, then, you know, you get good strong coffee because the grounds get water flowing over them for a longer period of time. All the wonderful oils and all the wonderful flavors come out of the coffee. But that takes a lot of work. So go ahead and get one of these stirring plates. If you have a dad that is thinking about how much you love coffee, you can get one for Christmas. All right, now before I actually put the coffee in, let me show you how this thing works. Inside there's a little motor with some magnets. And they magnetically couple to the little pellet that's inside that has magnets as well. And makes kind of a little pump inside the glass. Now, the pellet itself, it's Teflon coated, so it's completely safe. Ooh, got a nice little vortex going on there. The pellet itself is Teflon coated, so it's completely safe. The glassware, it's borosilicate glass. I've never used any actual chemicals in this, so completely safe for human consumption. Let's get some coffee in there. Now you may be wondering, how much coffee should I actually put in there? I mean, a lot, a little, a whole lot, a whole little. I put about as much as you put in a pot. And then I use this concentrate to make, well, effectively a pot of coffee. You can do even more, make it more concentrated, but really you don't want to go too crazy because otherwise you'll end up with a strong cup of coffee that'll just, well, give you heart palpitations. Ask me how I know. So, now that we have this going, let's put some foil on top. And we leave it for 24 hours. Yeah, it's a long time. But I already made some. All right, because of the magic of television, 24 hours have elapsed. Let's take that coffee out, see what it looks like. All right, see that? See how it's got a nice little froth on top? That means all the oils are coming out. Everything is looking good, smelling good, wonderful. But now we have all that really fine coffee in there. What are we going to do about that, right? Well, take my handy dandy French press and we'll do the first part of the separation. And the lucky part is a lot of the coffee does stay at the bottom. So you don't even have to worry about that. You can just throw it out. Now we take the French press and treat it like a French press. And you end up with something that still looks like muddy water. I know, right? Pretty unappealing, but it's really good coffee. Now once you've pressed the coffee, I take a handy dandy canning funnel and a reusable coffee filter. I've already used this one today. And then you pour the coffee through. And we've completed a batch of cold brew. But, can you see in there? Still looks like muddy water. Now, there are only a couple things you can do about this. I've found that, that the stirring actually makes really tiny coffee fines, and they're almost impossible to get out through filtration. You can take a paper coffee filter and, well, run it through this again with a paper coffee filter as well, but it'll get clogged really fast. And doesn't work too well either. Coffee. You just end up with a mess on your hands and changing out paper filters a lot. I could probably rig up something to pressure filter this coffee, and it would turn out good, but there's actually an easier solution, but it takes time. You take this and you let it sit. And the more you let it sit, the more the coffee fines settle to the bottom. Now this is really easy if you drink coffee every day because you just drink it very gently. Watch. See the coffee fines right there? How about right there? If you do it real gently, these will stay on the bottom, and well, when you get bored or, you know, just tired of them, you just rinse it out. No big deal. If that really just aggravates you, you could probably let this sit for a few days, decant off the top, and then just, you know, scrub away the bottom. That's an option too. I can't let coffee sit that long without drinking it though. This stuff's really concentrated though, so you want to start small and work your way up. Take a look. We just add some water and nuke it if you want it hot, add ice if you want it cold, sugar, cream, whatever you feel like. That's a good cup of coffee. Right now it's pretty much espresso. Oh yeah. So remember guys, if you've liked this video, click like. If you want to see more like it, click subscribe, and keep on voiding warranties. Oh, that is really good coffee. It's super strong though. Whee!